Hello everyone, welcome back to Leumastudios. In this section, we are going to be looking into construction of a regular octagon using distance across flat. In the last video, I showed you how to construct our octagon using distance across flat with the first method, making use of a circle. But in this particular section, we're going to be learning how to construct our octagon using a square and also with our 45-degree set scale. Let's go. So the first thing we are going to do is to draw the baseline of our square, which is 60 millimeters on our T scale. Okay, so we have our baseline, which is 60 millimeters, 60 millimeters, labeled as point A and point B. That's the first thing. So the next thing to do is to draw the other point on our square, that's the other sides, which are equally 60 millimeters. So from this point and also from this side, we have to measure those points at 60 millimeters. This point where we have 60 millimeters, and on the other side is the point at which we have 60 millimeters. So we're going to join those 2 points together, and then we label this point as point C and the other side as point D. So the next thing to do after that is to draw out the center line of our square. So we can take the measurement to get the center line. We know that we have 60 millimeters as our baseline, so the midpoint will be 30 millimeters, and then for the other side we have the midpoint to be 30 millimeters as well on both sides. So what we are expected to do is to join the midpoint together. We have this, and then we have horizontally, we have this. So that's the first thing to do on our square, and then we can label the center point as point O. Okay, so the next thing to do is to draw an arc by putting the needle of our compass at the corner of the 4 sizes of the square and extending it to the midpoint of the square. Then we draw them out. So we have this. We go to the next point, next edge, extend it to the center, we draw a line. So we go to the next point, we mark an arc. We go to the next point, which is the last point, and then we mark an arc. So after we are done marking the arc, the next thing we do is that we note all the point of intersection of our arc with the square. So from the construction line, we have the arc touching the square at this point. That's the first point. We have the arc touching it at this point. We have it touching it at this point. So we take note of all the points at which the arc touches the square. So let's label each and every point of the side together so as to get clarity. So we have this CD. You can label this as E. You can label this as E, and then this as F. You can say this is G, and this is H. This is I. This is J, and this is K. The last point is L. So we're going to join those 2 points together at which the arc touches the square. So from this point we have from point F to point H. We have from point E to point G. We have point from K to point L. We have from point H to point L. We have from point G to point K. So looking at it from the baseline, we are done with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. So remaining just the 3. We have point E to point I. We have point G to point F. Point F, and then we have the last point, which is point I to point J, which is the last point. So with this, we have a complete version of our octagon, which has 8 sides. So we have the side 1, side 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you.